joining me, Hesha, for a conversation. Good to see you.
Hi, I'm excited because this is my first PR interview for the show.
Damn, and you're wearing yellow. Yellow is my favorite color.
Oh, it's mine too. Same
What?
pinch.
Great. This is going to be a fab interview, and I'm sure the rest of your day is going to be amazing because yellow is my favorite color, my lucky color, everything. But good to
Same
see you.
pinch.
Amrita, you know what? When I got to know I'm chatting with you, the very first thought that came to me is obviously because Aisha, because I watched
Yeah.
that on loop. Like, it's my feel good movie. I think through the years, it's never changing. It's going to be the same. And you look the same, Chalo. Tell me, what is the
You
Raz?
see,
What's happening? I'm starting with your Raz. How are you
it's
so fit?
Punjabi genes. It's my mother. Yeah. She's 70 and doesn't look it.
Look at you. You're killing it. I think the Punjabi genes are working very well. But congratulations that you've got
Thank you.
for. I just want to start off this chat by actually asking you, like, when you started off in your career to like now, to let's say your recent project,
Yeah.
the day I understand that, having like a negotiable, non negotiable would be a bit too much because you tend to do things that come your way. But over the years, now that you've been in the industry for so long, you've played various parts, have you sort of figured out what are your negotiables and non negotiables when you're picking a project?
Yeah. I think it's more to do with content, where um, I now want to be a part of a project where I feel valued, you know,
Right.
and I add value to the script.
Hmm.
So I don't want to be a part of anything that does not fulfill these two criteria. And of course, where I've realized over time that it's not just the script, कि script अच्छा है, ये अच्छा है. You want to work with good people.
Hmm.
So these three things is what I've learned over time.
Lovely. And tell me, what has changed for you, like professionally as an actor? Like, do you see a change in terms of like how you are on set versus how you used to be before, or do you think that's been the same?
No, there's definitely been change because you learn, with experiences, and also hopefully as you grow older, you get wiser also.
Right.
So there's definitely been a change. And I mean, with any profession, the more experience you get, the more you're able to sharpen your skill set,
Hmm.
Uh, and then pehle I used to be like very like, on the set, I think I lacked focus.
Hmm.
I would be very phelawa and excited with like, oh, this is happening, that is happening. I want to talk to this one. I want to talk to everybody. I want to be friends with everybody. But now I'm more contained and focused on the work part of it.
Hmm. Tell me something when you're associated with a project like the current one, I see it 1-4, where there's a lot of, fact, and then also we're sort of cushioning it up with a little bit of fiction here and there, taking the liberty of cinema and entertainment. As an actor, what do you think is your responsibility in a situation like that?
I think that you're asking specifically in relation to this project, right?
That's
Or in
no,
general,
specifically to this one.
because it's
I see.
real life incidents.
Correct.
So what it was is that I had a lot of conversations with Anubhav as to, because the kind of research he's done and the time he spent and the way he knows the subject matter, I don't. So there's a lot of trust and faith in your director and your screenwriters. And then my job was to stay true to the character and role.
Hmm.
I kept it to that. And as long as कि अच्छा ये कुछ that it's not going totally off and off facts and things like that. My main thing was just trusting Anubhav because he's very good at his job and knows what he's doing.
What's your temperament on a set like this? What's going on in your head?
The initially, because I did not know Anubhav well, and I was just so in awe of his work that I was very much like I really wanted to make a good impression. I'll be honest. I wanted him to be like, oh, this is good, she's good, and I wanted that validation from him.
Hmm.
And then it was just amazing to work with him and Dia, who's a friend of mine. So my experience was, once I got past my nervousness of trying to prove myself, um, very comfortable.
Tell me something. I want to know you a little bit better. I think it's the first time we're chatting, so I'm also trying
Yeah.
to understand you and how you've been. And I personally like that. When I'm doing an interview, I love to know the person in front of me better, so I don't really come with a whole bunch of set questions. Of course, a little
Mhm.
research goes in. But tell me, for you as a person right now, what's the most stimulating part about what you do professionally? Like, come on, I feel like I'm at 33 in a space where complacency does sort of creep in, and then it becomes mundane, and I'm just trying to push myself.
Yeah.
But of course, I do have my stimulating factors that get me to do what I'm doing. I want to
Yeah.
know yours, some of yours. What really stimulates you?
Um, I need to keep learning and growing in life, and I always feel the need to challenge myself and not get comfortable. So right now I'm actually speaking to you from Edinburgh, where I have spent the last year doing a master's degree, which I just completed 2 weeks ago.
Whoa, congratulations.
Thank you. So that's the way. I think it's not just about, like, I look at it more from the perspective of life, that I want to be fulfilled and feel happy on the whole. And what are the choices I need to make to do that and keep challenging myself and learning.
Right. Talk to me about this master's degree. What made you study more and what have you studied? Give me details.
I have studied global mental health. So it's working in the mental health field, but in the development sector. And I've always wanted to study further. And I felt that I reached a point in my life where I was feeling like I was plateauing, and I've developed a lot of interest in mental health and psychology. So this is just something that I really wanted to do, to branch out, because I believe that you don't have to just be one thing and one person your whole life. What interested you at, like, in your 20s is not going to interest you in your 30s.
Right.
So, and also I feel like in it's just such an important space, mental health, and we need more people in that field to get involved, especially in India with our massive population.
Right. Yeah, that's so true. I feel like it has become a conversation starter right now, but I
Yeah,
feel like these were topics much before that we've all dealt with, probably not made them into dinner table
yeah,
conversations as they are right now, right? But
yeah.
then, since we're talking about it, why don't you share like a tip or two or things that you probably do to keep your mental health in check, especially when you are in an industry where there is scrutiny, there is a requirement of a particular job, right?
Yeah. It's a very tough business to be in, because of the competition, because of how replaceable you are. And then there's a whole additional struggle of making your mark as a woman in the business, because everything is so male oriented and it's a very patriarchal structure. So it is a very tough business. So the things that I do is, well, firstly, doing this master's for me has been extremely fulfilling, because um, personally, I want to look at things that spend time doing things that I find fulfilling. So that's one thing. And not complying to what society thinks we should be doing, or what the industry thinks I should be doing, like attending events and attending parties and being seen. So moving away from what the business requires you to be and do, to what do I want to do. And then therapy, I find it so healthy going for therapy. It's really helped me grow a lot. And then things like exercising and eating right, oh my god, it makes such a difference.
Right, it does. I think there's smaller things that really add to the bigger
Yeah.
shelf of stuff. But I want to know a little bit more about the fact that coming from a project like an IC 814 as well, and your previous body of work that you've had, you've been, or probably let's just say you've played roles which had like also other actors in stronger roles.
Yeah.
Having said that, you still managed to make a mark. People remember your characters. I loved you even in four more shots. So
Thank you.
small things that keep a recall value, I feel, sort of makes and fine tunes and
Yeah.
but tell me, how do you sort of bring in your sense of security in a situation like that? Like even right now you've got Nasir and there's Vijay and there's Dia and there, like so many people, like how do you
Yeah.
a secure actor?
See, with this project, I was just really excited. I was like, I want to be associated with this cast in any way or form. So
Right.
for me, it's a great sense of pride, and I was on set with just Dia. If I was on set with all of those big wigs, I think I would be so nervous.
Yeah, I know so many people.
I would be shaking, because they just, oh my God, like what a cast. Um, And these are people that I've grown up just admiring, like Nasir ji. I used to see his plays and then I was like, I want to do this. I want to be like him. But otherwise, I think it's a very valid question. And when people say, oh, I'm not insecure, I think it's all rubbish. We all have some level of insecurity. It's just how you deal with it. That is what is important. And then I realized somewhere along my career that I want to be a working actor, and not that I just want to be a lead. And if it's not a lead and it's not a heroine, then I don't want to play it. So if I'm adding value and I enjoy the character, it's great. And I also had to make a mind shift in understanding that it's about the work you do and not focus on how many lines do I have, how much screen time do I have,
Right.
Uh, so I did have to, it's not like, oh, I was born like this. I did have to work at it.
Mm. Tell me, what would be one of your most underrated performances where you really felt you gave it your all, but it sort of did not get there? Did you ever be in that space?
Yeah, 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 for sure. So I did this thing called Tagore Stories, um, and it was released on Netflix. And I really like blood, sweat, and tears. It was an Anurag Basu production, and his wife Tani Basu was directing it. And it was extremely like very small budget. तो मतलब ये 14 घंटे काम करना, which is not healthy
Yeah,
anyway.
yeah.
Where you don't sleep enough, where you really, really have to like work at it. Um, Not being paid well. I really worked really hard. That was purely for the love of, I was playing Charulata.
Mm.
And that I loved the role, Anurag Basu, Tagore. So I did it just for the love of it. But I feel like I really poured like blood, sweat, and tears into it. And I don't think that enough people have it reached enough audiences, even though it's on Netflix.
Yeah, I know these things do happen because also I've always had this debate recently where I'm questioning actors that do you feel, your success as an actor, is it subjective to the success of a project or a film that you do, or it's otherwise?
Unfortunately, it is.
Right. Yeah, number games does take a lot of precedence, but
Yeah.
I'm a little short on time with you. So before I wrap this up with you, I really want to ask you, Amrita, like, of course, there is IC 814, but like, what going forward? Do you have a career trajectory mapped up for you in any way, whether it's with the whole mental health space or even acting?
I actually don't. That is such a good question. I've literally just finished my master's, and it's been a great month because I finished my master's and now IC 814 is releasing. And then I'm going to have to figure out what I want to do and a way to make those two worlds meet. So, yeah, I don't have anything lined up, and I'm going to go with the flow.
Right. Well, Amrita, thank you so much for your time. For now, of course, we can soak in the fact that you just graduated. So, congratulations again. Yay. And of course, there's IC 814 coming your way too. So, I wish you all the very best for your interviews and for everything else that you do. Thank you for your
Thank
time.
you so much. That was such a nice way to start the day.